Hello, this is the RPG Pundit, the final boss in internet shitlords. And I am, this is something I think I'd been planning to say for quite a while here. But before that, let me point out, I'm sorry that I haven't been doing that many videos as of recently, but that's because I've got a very busy potential publishing schedule, and I thought you'd all like to know that I've got 3 major projects that are currently in the works, and one minor that I'm sure you already know about by now, which is the Pundit Files. Pundit Files number 21 is out right now, which is the medieval calendar year. And you can check that out in the Red Room store, which also has all the Wretched series and a whole bunch of other great RPGs by the Red Room people and other people. And you should check out all of that stuff. The Pundit Files issues are only $3.50, so if you can get someone to give you $3.50, you can get an issue of the Pundit Files. So be sure to check all that out. Now, the Pundit Files was coming out once every 2 weeks, very much like clockwork up to like a little while ago. But now you will notice that I've been stretching out the rate at which they come out. And that is because of these other projects that I've also been that I've committed myself to. So one of them I've already told you about. It's 101 Sarmatians, which is going to be a source book for Baptism of Fire, which will cover everything you want to know about the nobility. It'll have lots of NPCs in it. It'll have lots of plot elements and hooks and things like that. And lots of some extra rules, some extra material that you can use in your Baptism of Fire campaign, especially if you want to run a campaign centered around a noble house or where all the PCs are nobles or things like that. So that's going to be the first big source book, so to say, big-ish anyway, for Baptism of Fire. The second thing that I am working on right now is from Spectre Press. They're finally getting to work on the Old School Companion 3. So you know Old School Companion 1 was full of rules, modifications, things like that for your OSR game, or especially for Lion and Dragon, that you could use to make your campaign more medieval authentic. The second Old School Companion, which is the one you see here, was an adventure series. It had 26 different adventures, all based on medieval authentic legend, history, or folklore, or sometimes even poems or songs. And all of them kind of sandbox adventures. It's a very good product. You should check it out. But now we're finally working on the final Old School Companion, Old School Companion 3, which will have all of the remaining stuff that didn't get in to Old School Companion 1. So all of the additional magic stuff, there's going to be all kinds of new spell systems and stuff like that that are from the Pundit Presents series. There will be the Cult of the Saints, so stuff about the worship of the saints. There will be adventure areas like the city guides, the medieval city guides are going to be in there. An expanded bestiary for Lion and Dragon with some very, very weird medieval monsters. The ones that were too weird for me to put into the main book, but that ended up in Pundit Presents, and now they'll be in the Old School Companion. Medieval authentic secret societies. All kinds of stuff that you can use to continue to ramp up your medieval authentic campaign, whether it's with Lion and Dragon or any other product. And speaking of Lion and Dragon, the third project that is being worked on right now is going to be a new omnibus edition combining Lion and Dragon and Dark Albion into one volume, updating the rules, updating a bit of the Dark Albion setting to come more into line with what I've been doing since that time with stuff like Sword and Caravan and Baptism of Fire. So it's going to have all new layout, all new art. It's not going to be done by Dom Publishing. It's going to be done by a different press. Where that is still, I think, in the early stages right now, it would be fair to say. However, since a lot of it is going to be material that is already written, obviously, there are going to be some things that are going to get changed, but not a great deal. there's going to be some expansion and a couple of things that get taken out maybe, but it's in this complete edition. The writing part is going to get done pretty quickly once we get started on it. The more complicated thing might be for the publisher making an all new layout, all new art, all new styles, etc. So I can't say when any of these three larger books are going to come out exactly. I can tell you that 101 Sarmatians is already at the first proofreading stage. Like most of the main text is basically done. There's probably going to be changes to be made, but it's basically done. So that's probably going to come out quite soon. Also Companion 3 probably will come out sometime early next year. I don't know. I can't say for sure when the omnibus edition of Lion and Dragon and Dark Albion will be coming out. But there you go. Those are all the new exciting things we've got. And there will be another issue of the Pundit Files coming out very shortly. I can't for the life of me at this moment remember which one it is. See, I write a lot of these up ahead, right? So by the time they're published, it's like several weeks behind of what I'm currently writing. But anyways, it'll be coming out probably next week. There'll be another one, so don't worry about it. But that's all the projects that I'm on. Now, at the same time, right now there hasn't been a lot of news, and this is getting into our main topic, news right now regarding more stupid things that Wizards of the Coast does, right? And I will point out, you guys who are my ongoing fans will note that I do review videos, and then I do videos about how to game, like how to play the game and what's the right and wrong way to do the game, or what are better ways to do the game, or things like that. And then I do rants about WotC or about some other woke part of the hobby or things like that. Okay, those are three very different types of videos. Now, inevitably, I get the most criticism about my rants. Often people saying, why don't you just ignore it? Nobody cares about Wizards of the Coast. You don't have any reason to criticize them. What do you care if somebody else is having a nice time doing it, right? Watching it or playing the game or whatever. And it's not your business to criticize them, right? Or stuff like that. Or saying, you're just drawing attention to them. You're actually helping them. It's what Wizards of the Coast wants, is for you to criticize them, right? Or stuff like, why does it even matter? You shouldn't even care about this. You shouldn't write about them. You should just ignore them. All of that sort of stuff. That comes up the most with the rants. And then also people saying, I don't like, that this is the fans now. These are you guys now. A whole bunch of you say, I don't like it when you do a rant video. It's way better when you do a review or when you do a video about how to roleplay or how to do something specific as a DM or whatever. That's the much better thing. Okay, well, great, except that at the same time, as both of those true things are, at the same time, my rant videos always do better than anything else, right? They do better than the live streams, they do better than the reviews, and they do better than the, how to DM sort of videos. So if you really think that, if you're some of the people who made that claim, I don't really like your rants, I like your other stuff much better, well, please continue to promote those videos so that they will end up being competitive with my rant videos, okay? But now let's look at these claims that some people have made. And now sometimes this might be people making these claims because they don't want me to spend my time doing these videos. They want me to spend my time doing the other kind of videos that I just mentioned, right? But a lot of other times, these are people who are coming to my channel in kind of bad faith, right? They're people that actually, the typical response to this is very simple, right? When somebody says, well, why should you even care what WotC is doing? It's none of your business, right? My answer would be, why do you care what I'm doing, right? Like, obviously it matters enough to you, the person making this criticism, that you have come onto my channel and left a comment on my video about how much you don't care about what WotC is doing. So that is quite a level of actual care above and beyond my level of actual care, right? I mean, at least in theory, right? Theoretically, I might care more, but the level of effort that is being done there is not as much as the person who bothers to come to my channel instead of doing something on theirs and wanting to comment and find people to criticize for daring to criticize Wizards of the Coast, right? So right away, there's a sense sort of disingenuousness in this, right? And this idea of, well, we should just ignore it. Well, first of all, in the idea of why do you even care? You should not say this, right? Or the whole idea that somehow I'm going to be helping them by saying it. And they're like, the argument being sort of that, this attention will make other people come over and like WotC. That's dumb, right? Because we're talking about scale, because we're talking about WotC. Okay? This is very silly. Now, there are other games, for example, that argument could have some truth, right? And this is why I don't believe, for example, when on the RPG site, they did the list of woke companies. Actually, the RPG Consumer's Guide that has a list of, the red list of woke companies, the green list of companies that are based, right, anti-woke or whatever, and then the ones in the middle. I strongly encourage, because there are some people that are putting in like these very, very tiny publishers that nobody ever heard of and that nobody was buying their stuff. Inevitably, those are the woke ones, right, that they were putting on there to try to like harm, right? But actually, there you might be doing them more good than harm because they have zero attention normally, and you're giving them some attention. You're putting them on par with these bigger woke companies. So, if it's something like that, if you're calling excessive attention to a very small RPG publisher, right? Like one guy who writes and publishes for himself or something like that, or a tiny group. There could be some argument that it's counterproductive, that it's like a Streisand effect, right? That by pointing them out, they're actually going to do better than if you didn't point them out, right? That also can happen sometimes if somebody is like swamped, right? Like if you get a whole bunch of people that at once start attacking someone, that will draw attention and there will be new defenders for that person, right? That could also be the case. But it is never the case like that for Wizards of the Coast, okay? Wizards of the Coast is going to be it's already got all the all the marketing it can get, and so me talking about it is not going to make them more successful. It's also, there's a good chance it might not make them very much less successful, but that's kind of my goal. And when I attack Wizards on this, it's, part of it is obviously talking to the crowd, because that's another criticism people have made. They've said, well, all your fans already hate Wizards, so why do you have to keep talking about it? Well, okay, first of all, because they hate Wizards. And a lot of my fans, even though they say, oh, we like your reviews better, or we like your how-to DM videos better, the numbers say that the one that they like best is me ranting about Wizards, okay? That's the numbers game. That's what YouTube says. The algorithm has spoken, right? People, I get the most views from that, which means that that's what people want to watch me do. So obviously part of it is doing that, right? Not just because of the algorithm or something, but because I also love, like I've been doing this for 20 years, I did this way before there was a YouTube, right? I started doing this on Zanga, for Christ's sakes, right? Most of you are, well, not most of you, but quite a few of you are probably too young to know what Zanga even was, okay? So that's like, it's ancient history, right? And I've been doing this the whole time, right? Criticizing the errors in the industry, which have only gotten bigger over time. So I do it because I like to, but I also do it because obviously other people get something from it, and the main reason that I do it is because there are always going to be these people right at the edge, right? Because there are going to be people that will be simps for Wizards of the Coast no matter what, right? Those people, you're not going to change their minds. They're the people that are just there to consume the current thing that they're being told to consume and then consume some more, right? They're the NPCs. Then on the other side, there's the people who have been red-pilled, right? Who know exactly what garbage Wizards is and are never going to touch it. But they are going to enjoy watching me eviscerate how bad they are, right? Like point out how horrible a product they've just made or whatever, right? But in the middle of these, there are two other categories. One are people who can be saved and who don't realize that they're about, like, people that think, because again, remember, like when Radiant Citadel came out, the way it was promoted in high level social media and stuff like Twitter, where you have people that are like gonna have their, you know, because there's the hashtag, so the people who see D&D Twitter are huge information consumers, right? And so those are people that are going to be high information buyers, and they're going to see their all the feminists that helped write it bragging about how this is a game that has no white people in it, and it's not about combat, it's about going to the night market and having eating competitions and eat, pray, love and stuff like that, right? In a multicultural setting with no white people, right? That's what they're telling them on Twitter. But in the back cover, when you're looking at it in the bookstore, right, it says this is an exciting interdimensional multi-planar adventure for your D&D characters with 26 adventures, and it's super awesome in a brand new setting, right? And they make it sound like it's a traditional adventure, right? So those people who might not be on Twitter and examining posts being made on the D&D hashtag, but who might see my YouTube video and might look at it and they might say, oh, Radiant Citadel, I've been thinking of buying that. I wonder what this guy thinks, right? They put that on and I will reveal to them that it's a trap, right? And then they will be saved, right? Then, so if I save even one person from buying a shitty product like that, then I have done my career's worth, right? That is worthwhile. The other is a little bit harder of a case, which is people that already know, they know what Wizards is doing, they know it's horrible, they know the new product is going to be horrible, but they have OCD or ADHD or autism or whatever you want to call it. They are nerds, they're terminally ill with nerdness, which obliges them to get the whole collection, right? And so that I'm gonna hate this, but I have to get it. It says D&D on the cover, and I've got everything with D&D on the cover. So what am I gonna do? You know, just don't buy it, you retard, right? That's it. Don't buy it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know, this is the problem. That is the people that I want to like try to shake them until they understand, right? Stop buying shit that is just a skin suit of what you once loved, right? Don't do that. But there are people that still keep doing it. There are people that will go on, the people that knew that they were going to hate Dragonlance or Ravenloft or Radiant Citadel, and they did it anyways. And they know they're going to hate the new player's handbook, but they're going to pre-order it anyways because they have to, right? Because they're nerds, right? Because they're nerds that have no self-control. So those people are the one that I am trying to more aggressively, right? The first ones that I mentioned, as soon as they hear someone saying, no, this is feminist bullshit, or this is, multicultural crap, right? They're not going to buy it. They're going to be, oh yeah, no, I don't want that. I want a real adventure. So I'm just going to stop buying this stuff and run my own adventures or something. That's it, right? But the collectors are unstoppable, right? But I'm not going to stop trying, right? Because maybe I just get one of them to like get some kind of therapy and stop feeling like he has to buy stuff made by people who hate him, that are making a product that they intentionally want him to hate and that he will hate, and that he'll have still paid them, and they're going to make more money to make more products that are meant to attack him personally, to punish him personally for having liked the wrong things. And as long as these people keep trying to buy these things, whether it's hate buying or whether it's because they have to have the whole collection, then those other people are still going to keep being able to have some kind of influence. So those are the reasons why I do this, okay? The small fry is another issue, right? If it's like some weirdo company, on itch.io makes a product, I'm probably not going to talk about it unless there's something really egregious to point out. And I have had a few of those, right? But the big things, and Wizards of the Coast is the biggest thing about the RPG hobby, has to be called out. Otherwise, all you're doing is you're conceding ground. And you're just creating this illusion of consensus. You're allowing them, because they're going on there, they're going on YouTube channels and talking about how amazing the new PHB is, and having other people who are basically either paid shills or simps that are saying, yeah, it's so great, it's so inclusive, but exciting, and it has pictures of people eating tacos in it, you know, and it's got Mexican orcs now. Isn't that amazing, right? Like that's going to create the illusion that there's a consensus, that all gamers really like this, and they don't, right? And I think that the recent sales, as my last video pointed out, are kind of proving that, you know? So there you are, you know, like the people who are my critics about this, some of them are probably well-meaning, like the ones that are like, yeah, I would rather you did this other stuff, but, you know, help promote that other stuff, right? I would do more reviews. First of all, if I get more reviews, right? If people send me more books, but also I would do them more often if I knew that they don't get like half the views that me ranting about the latest Wizards thing would do, right? It's not that I'm not going to do them anymore. I'll definitely be doing them. But, you know, I'm also not going to do them. I'm going to do them at a rate concurrent to what I know they're going to do for the channel, you know. But on the other hand, there's a ton of these people who are making this argument to me in comments, because what they really are saying is, you are a threat to me. You're a threat to the thing I like, right? I want these SJWs to take over every hobby. That is the thing that I'm obsessed with. My hobby isn't D&D. My hobby is leftist communism. And I want to destroy Western civilization's values. And so these guys are doing a good thing. And so I'm going to try to pretend that I'm a nerd in order to stop you, to try to get you to stop, so that we can successfully destroy, you know, Western civilization. You know, that's mostly the argument that these people are making. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, every time that somebody, and it's obvious, you can tell which are the ones that are like that, right? They're the ones that are trying to act as though they're really nonchalant, when you can sense the tone of desperation in what they write, you know, like that they desperately want to stop me. They want to somehow beat me and prevent me from doing it. Well, guess what, dude? I've been doing this for 20 years. There's nobody that has beaten me yet, nobody that will, okay? Certainly not rando dude who comes in and does a comment on one of my videos. That's pretty much the story. So I guess that's everything I wanted to say today. I think that we're at a lull right now in WotC stuff anyways, so my next videos are probably going to be a review and then some kind of DMing advice, so that you can take consolation in that, people who claim that you like those more. And of course, on the 20th of this month, I will be doing episode 2 of the RPG Pundit Encounter, where I will be interviewing somebody else who will be announced very shortly. Be sure not to miss it. I will be doing it. I think I'm going to try 8 o'clock Eastern. I was doing 9 Eastern, but maybe 8 o'clock Eastern is going to make it easier for some people. I don't know. I just want to see. I want to compare. We'll see. We'll work it out. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it would be better to do the live stream at 8 o'clock Eastern or at 9 o'clock Eastern? Tell me what you think. I guess that's everything for today. Currently smoking this absolutely gorgeous Neerup Hawkbill with Argento Roots.